It was a shimmering, sun-drenched afternoon in the heart of downtown. The glass towers reflected light like cascading diamonds, and the air hummed with the subtle heartbeat of speeding traffic. At the center of this urban stage was a Ferrari unlike any other, a sleek, metallic red masterpiece, its MSRP rumored to hover around $12 million. This rolling gem was affectionately dubbed the Crimson Phantom. Rumor had it, only 3 of its kind existed worldwide. Standing beside this automotive marvel was the woman who owned it, Nick Grayson, a billionaire CEO known for his ruthless business tactics and icy demeanor. With the tuxedo cut suit tailored to perfection, it looked every inch the figure of modern power, imposing, unflappable, and exuding an aura of untouchable wealth. Then there was Maria. She'd been thrifting vintage dresses for her young daughter Lila and planning out meal preps for the coming week, all while balancing 2 part-time jobs to cover rent and tuition. Financial pressures were her relentless shadow, and every penny was accounted for with unwavering discipline. Maria had paused beside a gleaming car window, accidentally, with a small, inadvertent press of her palm against the Ferrari's pristine surface. That faint, drifting contact was enough. Nick seized the moment like a hawk striking prey. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" The words cut through the lull like ice shards, and Maria's heart thumped. Eyes wide, she froze, feeling exposed. The crowd gathered instantly, curiosity magnetized. She swallowed, voice caught in her throat. "Uno a uno, sorry." Nick's lips curled in contempt. "About touching my property. You don't just touch a car like that. Do you have any idea what you're messing with?" His voice carried authority and disdain in equal measure. Even the hum of the engines seemed to hush in deference to his fury. Maria's mind raced. She wanted to explain, say it was accidental, that she was just trying to pull out her phone, that she respected that car in ways she couldn't even articulate. But words fled. She remembered Lila's proud smile when she showed her a red toy car, how Maria had promised little Lila she'd take her to see real one someday. Nick leaned in, his tone icy. "This is a $12 million machine. One touch could cost you more than you make in a month." His eyes, cold and piercing, made the air feel thin. Maria's cheeks burned, not from guilt, exactly, but from the jagged edges of injustice. It wasn't her fault, the city's bustle had thrown her off balance. Yet there she stood, stuck between embarrassment and the weight of his fury. Nick turned and whipped out his phone, ready to call someone, security, police, an assistant, to humiliate her further. But something stopped him before he could press call. Maybe it was the quiver in her stance. Maybe it was the entire absurdity of the scene. A single mom, destitute by comparison, frozen beside an ultra-luxury car and a man used to commanding all it survived. In that moment, time slowed. Maria lifted her gaze, finally meeting Nick, Siglo. She saw a flicker, not of kindness, but of something more curious, unsettled. A gap in his usually unassailable armor. She took a breath. "I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to." She pinched the edge of her dress. "It's gorgeous," she uttered softly, her voice even. "You have it touched by an artist or something." She realized mid-sentence how unlikely it sounded, but she surrendered to honesty. "I've only ever seen a car like this in pictures. It's beautiful." That word, simple, genuine, seemed to catch Nick off guard. His jaw clenched, then relaxed. He stepped back, took in the car, then looked at Maria again. The tension in his shoulders slackened. "An artist," he said, voice flat but quieter. Yeah, I had a custom wrap designed by a street artist collective. Meant to embody power, movement, desire. On instinct, Maria's led. They captured it. Her words felt light, sincere, praising without phoning. It gave Nick pause. The crowd's energy shifted from expectant to a coward. They had anticipated scandal. Instead, they were witnessing a silent truce. You're not like the others, Nick said after a long moment. Exhale slowly. Most people, when they show up in something like this, feed their envy. Feel the need to put me in my place. You looked. His voice trailed. You looked with appreciation. Maria nodded, surprised by how steady her response was. I'm someone who works with her hands, she said. I raise someone. I appreciate creation. Care isn't always in the value. It's in the intent. Behind her, a taxi horn blared, reminding reality it couldn't wait. Maria glanced at the curb. She couldn't stay. She didn't expect anything for merely speaking the truth, just enough space to breathe. Nick cleared his throat. The moment stretched. Finally, with surprising grace, he said, "You're free to go." Maria offered a small nod. Words felt unnecessary. She turned and walked away, keeping her head just high enough to meet the eyes of the gathered crowd. She felt the weight of the moment settle gently in her chest. Nick watched her go. The crowd dissipated, curiosity drained like air from a needle, and the Ferrari gleamed quietly in the aftermath. Something existed between them now, unspoken. A recognition of humanity that doesn't align with dollars. Maria disappeared into the crowd. The street resumed its rhythms. Engines humming, footsteps passing, life moving forward. But Nick remained, looking after her. Seconds after, he did something no one expected. Part 2, short. Seconds later, as Maria disappeared into the urban tide, Nick shed the veneer of sternness. He followed her, not to confront, but to catch up, heart pounding with an impulse unfamiliar. To understand, to know her story, to atone for the moment it squandered. It extend not just an apology, but perhaps, offer something intact in value that transcends wealth. A chance, a connection, a fresh start.